Republicans are split on how to address the ongoing atrocities that we're seeing out of Gaza every single day. Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene took to X, writing in part, "It is the most truthful and easiest thing to say that October 7 in Israel was horrific and all hostages must be returned. But so is the genocide, humanitarian crisis, and starvation happening in Gaza." Genocide is a word that hasn't come up until recently. Most lawmakers have shied away from using it, and even still, some are rejecting it, like Senator Lindsey Graham, who also went as far to say that Congress shouldn't be doing more to provide relief for starving Palestinians. This all comes as Trump's Middle East envoy Steve Witkoff and Israel Ambassador Mike Huckabee visited Gaza this week to inspect aid distribution sites, where we know more than 1,000 Palestinians have been killed, most by Israeli forces. That's according to a report from the United Nations Human Rights Office. Just today, at least 10 people were killed near 2 aid distribution sites. Susan Del Percio and Jamal Bowman are back with us. Susan, let's start with Witkoff and Huckabee's visit to Gaza yesterday. Some critics saying it was a publicity stunt. What, if anything, could this visit accomplish? People in Gaza are still starving.
They are still starving, and there's something kind of interesting going on with President Trump on this issue. The visuals do get to him, and we've seen that from the first term. There were a couple of times where the visuals were too much. Plus, there is something where Donald Trump likes saying, I created peace with Thailand and Cambodia. Like, right. He likes to be the peacemaker, and there's two places he can't make peace: Ukraine and with Israel and Hamas. So this may be one of those windows that he chooses to go, or tunnels he chooses to go down to provide more aid, because he likes the way it looks for him to be a hero in that regard. As far as the party splitting, and it does kill me to say this, but Marjorie Taylor Greene was not wrong in what she wrote. I always wonder about the words that came before that and will come after that with her. So, what she wrote was great. Lindsey Graham is probably following someone's orders or thinks he's helping out Trump some way. That's how Lindsey Graham kind of moves. He doesn't really have a unique thought or care about the issue. But this is something that is starting to resonate with the public because the visuals are just so strong.
Jamal, we've even seen people on the left who despise Marjorie Taylor Greene. Yeah. Basically thank her for saying what many of them have been trying to get the Democrats to say for years now. What do you make of this sort of political realignment, the fact that she's saying this, but so many Democrats struggle to even talk about what's happening in Gaza right now?
Yeah, I'm going to be very diplomatic right now because I've had beef with Marjorie Taylor Greene over the years, but maybe she's maturing into her role, at least as it relates to the issue of Gaza. And I say that as someone who served 4 years, and sometimes you come out the gate, you know, wanting to fight everyone, and then you kind of grow and evolve into it. I think Marjorie Taylor Greene is capturing what the majority of the American people are seeing right now. They're seeing the starvation, the forced starvation of children daily on their screens. Benjamin Netanyahu is, the ICC is charging him with war crimes. I have said for a long time it is a genocide. Other people are saying that now. The majority of Democratic senators recently voted in support of Bernie Sanders' bill to stop weapons to Israel. I think what's kind of pissing me off, quite frankly, is Marjorie Taylor Greene is showing more leadership on the issue of Gaza than Democratic leadership. And I think that is a problem, because even if you have historically supported the state of Israel for whatever reason, you can say, I've always supported the state of Israel. However, what's happening right now is horrific, and we need to feed the children and save lives immediately. You can say both of those things. I don't understand. I do kind of understand, because I know how powerful the Israel lobby is, but you're being more responsive to the Israel lobby than you are to the American people and the starving children in Gaza. And I think that's unacceptable for Democratic leadership. And it's another example of how we are losing our place as a moral leader on the world stage. And shout out to France, shout out to the UK, who are saying we are ready to recognize a Palestinian state, because all we talk about is a two-state solution. So if that's what we want, then the U.S., Donald Trump, must recognize a Palestinian state.
Well, but also, let's not forget what we're seeing in the House and the Senate is the politics at hand of Benjamin Netanyahu. I mean, he is a central figure in this, in that he is wanting to stay in office. Right. He has his own political problems. There's a lot of folks, I'm one of them, I mean, like, who are 100% behind Israel. I am not, I'm 100% behind Netanyahu getting out of office, though. And those things are not, can exist side by side.
There are many with that position.
Too many with that position. And then you have on top of that the generational issue with how people look at Israel, both Democrats and Republicans. Younger people don't necessarily feel the strong connection from either side of the aisle to the state of Israel. And that's a problem for older, people with the power, frankly, of leadership in both parties.
But my question is, Donald Trump says he has such a good relationship with Netanyahu, just like he said he had such a good relationship with Putin. So Netanyahu is the problem. So why is there not, if Trump's upset, then why can't he make Netanyahu
Trump's
do this?
Trump's not upset. Trump doesn't give a damn what happens to the children in Palestine.
Right, that's what
he likes to behave it. Well, if that's the case, shut it down.
He could get food to those. He could get food to Gaza civilians tomorrow if Donald Trump wanted to.
And
he holds that power. But he has looked utterly weak, just as weak as Biden when it comes to Netanyahu. It just gets rolled constantly.
And Netanyahu needs Trump way more than Trump needs Netanyahu at this point. I mean, so if he's got such a great relationship, just like that great relationship he has with Putin, make the deal.
I guess I'm less confused by Trump sort of not being able to figure out what to do with Netanyahu than I am by Democrats. Right now, Gallup polling this past week showing only 8% of Democrats support the current military campaign in Gaza.
Yeah.
It's like the reverse in Congress. Like probably only 8% of people in Congress, that's just a guess, who feel that way. So why is Marjorie Taylor Greene, someone who loves Trump, talks about how much she loves Trump all the time, able to buck him on this and say, I'm not with it? But Democrats, they're polling their own supporters, telling them, hey, we're not okay with this. And they can't do it. That is so strange to me.
And the majority of Democrats in New York City are right there on the issue of Gaza. The majority of Democrats in New York State are right there on the issue, yet Senator Schumer, Senator Gillibrand did not support Bernie Sanders' bill. And right across the river in New Jersey, Senator Booker did not support Bernie Sanders' bill, but the other New Jersey senator did. And this is what I'm saying. This is why we got to get big money out of politics. We got to get special interests out of politics. We got to do something about these lobbies and govern from a human rights perspective. It is not an either or situation. It is not a binary. It is not a scarcity perspective. We can fight anti-Semitism and have a Palestinian state and self-determination. We can have both. And we're not governing or leading from that perspective at all. And the military solution here was over a year ago. Over a year ago. And now we're using starvation as a way to, control the people of Gaza, which is a war crime.
Susan Del Percio and Jamal Bowman, thank you. I also want to shout out our co-host, Ayman Mohadeen, who I wish was here tonight because he has been just such a strong voice on all these issues. He's spending much needed time with his family.